And guys, a lot of female out there, I know you're going to worry about this too, because I was concerned about it. Actually spruce it up, you know, because this way you don't have to worry. Hi YouTube, it's Claudine, and guys, I'm here to share with you a very, very, very important topic. Well, and also my personal experience with this very, very important topic that unfortunately a lot of females out there, including myself, you know, have faced. Too many female face, you know, at least some point in their lives. And guys, today we're going to be talking about hysterectomy, whether it's partial hysterectomy or full hysterectomy, iron infusion, and fibroids. I had no idea this was such a pandemic, was so widespread, and so many females going through this serious topic. But as I went through my personal experience with all three, fibroids, iron infusion, and a partial hysterectomy, even though this is not the easiest topic for me to have with you guys today or to share, but I decide to be very transparent with you guys and share with you my personal experience of dealing with or dealt with fibroids, iron infusion, and then hysterectomy. Hoping that this video will help someone out there. When I was going through my experience, and guys, this was a few years ago. This was like over 5 years ago, you know, I went through this. But when I was going through my experience, like especially in the beginning part of it, I was so scared, guys. I was so scared. So I did a couple of research, you know, to see like other females who have gone through the same thing, you know, just to get some form of like support, you know, or some kind of just to see what others been through, how they cope, just the whole process of it. That actually helped me a lot, along with my great team of doctors that I had behind me. So now it's been over 5 years, and so I decided to do this video, be very transparent with all my experience, what I've been through. So guys, bear with me through this video. As I said, we're going to be talking about fibroids, we're going to be talking about iron infusions, and we're going to be talking about hysterectomy. And you know, iron infusion, that's when your iron is like severely low, like really low, where you have to undergo iron infusion. So guys, these are all stuff that I have been through, and a lot of people had no idea or didn't even know what was going on. And during the fibroids, because guys, if you don't know, when you have fibroids also, it lowers your metabolism, you know, so you're more susceptible to gain weight. You know, it's easier for you to gain weight because whatever you eat, it stays on you a lot more than, you know, somebody with a fast metabolism that could burn, you know, the extra weight, you know, based off whatever you eat. So, you know, when I was going through my experience with dealing with the fibroids, you know, during that time of my life, you know, I'd gained a little bit more weight, you know, than I have on today. And with the pregnancy of my youngest child, I developed fibroids. I guess that, you know, it's a thing with female, it happens sometimes. Not quite sure how, you know, it all happens. Some people have different theories as to why fibroids. Some people say it's like perm, when you perm your hair, put a chemical in your hair to straighten your hair, that contributes to fibroids. But I'm not quite sure, you know, how I end up develop fibroids, you know, during my pregnancy. But it was very, 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 very small. As a doctor explained to me, he said it was really, really, really like tiny, nothing to really worry about. So okay, years and years go by. And then in 2015, you know, I guess that's, okay, guys, when you have fibroids, well, any little ailments in your body or anything, you need to be stress-free, if there's such thing. Because stress, let me tell you guys, stress could cause a lot of things, and even if you have one little simple thing, stress could build on it. So in 2015, I was going through a separation with my husband, my ex-husband. I was once married. And so I guess that's when my body now started going through a little bit more stress. So by 2016, I filed for divorce and, got divorced. But so even though I'm the one who filed for divorce, it's still stressful. It's still a stressful situation, time in your life, and then with work and everything. So I guess my body, with all that compound, started going through even more stress. And so then by the end of 2016, I noticed my periods start getting a little heavier. The cycle was getting, a lot heavier than it was. I noticed my cycle was getting a little heavier. It was moving from like 3 days a week, not 3 days a week, 3 days a month, to like 4 days a month, to like 5, to like 6. And then it started to get like a little heavier. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? And then my appetite opened up. I had like a bigger appetite. By 2017, my period was going from 5-6 days a week to 2 weeks straight. I was bleeding on my period for 2 weeks straight. I'm like, that is not normal, and it's not just having period for 2 weeks, but it's having extreme heavy cycle, heavy period, for 2 weeks straight. I thought, that's it. I thought I was just like dying, so that made me so extremely anemic. And that's why my iron level just dropped, like boom, it plummeted like severely, because all this happened in like a span of a year, pretty much, because pretty much from like the end of 2016 to the end of 2017. Yeah, so it all like gradual, over the months, and then boom, it just like plummeted, just dropped, my iron level, because my cycle was so heavy and, started dragging out for so long because of the fibroids and how the fibroids was positioned, in the uterus, So I went to my doctor, and they do all the tests. They do what you call a sonogram, to see, and they do like a vaginal sonogram to see, to check to see if the fibroid was growing. And like I said, guys, earlier in the video, I had a great team with me. My primary doctor, my gynecologist, oh my God, the absolute greatest, amazing. So they were very, very thorough, and checking for everything, making sure everything was fine. So when my gynecologist, they did the sonogram and they checked, he was like, oh, your fibroids is growing. So they check, it went from, I forgot, whatever centimeter to another centimeter, it's getting bigger, so because of the fibroids, it made my cycle, which is my period, to get heavier. So while my cycle got heavier, I started noticing I was feeling weaker, I was feeling drained. I remember even just simple grocery shopping, I felt like really dizzy, like I really had to hold on really tight to the cart as I'm going around doing grocery shopping, not knowing what's going on. I'm like, maybe I'm hungry. Maybe I just want to eat something, So every time I feel dizzy, I thought I was just hungry. I need to eat something, which that was just packing on the weight, because like I mentioned earlier, with fibroids, it also lowers your, you don't have a fast metabolism, as you do normally, because with the fibroids, it slows down your metabolism. And guys, another thing I didn't know was also fibroids feeds off fat. It feeds off sugar and it feeds off fat, which I didn't know. So guys, if you have fibroids, you know, you've been diagnosed with fibroids, you got to lower your fat intake, lower your sugar intake. You're going through a lot of stress, you know, a lot of stresses in your body. It feeds off that as well, and the fibroid grow. Guys, by close towards the end of 2017, I was so weak, but still pushing myself. I was still going, you know, going to work, doing everything, you know, that I have to deal with, you know, everyday, day-to-day life. But I noticed like I would feel like I'm like fading out. Literally, guys, I would just feel like everything is blanking out. I remember I was on the train on my way home from work, and I sat there on the train, and I literally feel my body felt like it was just fading away, you know? And I got so scared. I'm like, am I dying? You know, am I dying? I was scared to say anything. At one point, I wanted even to say something to the conductor on the train, but I was like, so I just went on my phone and I started texting, you know, my loved one, you know, my kids and stuff, telling them I love them, everybody, all of my, you know, friends or family member that was there to me, you know, is just texting like, I love you, because I literally felt like I was just like fading out, you know, not realizing that because of the fibroids, you know, it made me severely anemic, you know, severely anemic. I was losing a lot of blood, and my body wasn't like regenerating as much blood, you know, fast enough. So I had no idea. So anyway, so went to my doctor and they did a test, and my doctor, she was like, girl, how are you even functioning? She was like, your level right now, people at your level is hospitalized, getting emergency blood transfusion. She was like, my iron level is so low. And guys, when your iron level drops really, really low, you know, it lowers your hemoglobin, you know, it gets really, really, really low. And for a female, your hemoglobin has to be between 12 and 16. The lowest it should be is at 12. You know, your hemoglobin, 12 to 16. Guys, my level was 6. She was like, you can't go back to work right now. You're not even supposed to be driving. Your iron is just way too low. She was so shocked. She said she had never seen that before. Somebody moving around, driving around, operating with a level so low. So I'm like, that explains it. Why I keep literally feel like I was just like fading away, you know, even just simple like grocery shopping, walking around, I would get like really, really dizzy. So due to the extreme anemia, you know, I developed, we call it vertigo. You know, when you're walking around, you feel like really, really dizzy. You know, so my gynecologist did explain, but he explained when you have fibroids, you could do surgery. You could have surgery to remove the fibroids. But the thing is, guys, when you do surgery to remove the fibroids, he said it's a strong possibility that the fibroids will come back. You know, in later in life and stuff, they say usually fibroids come back. And then you have to do another surgery again to remove the fibroids again. So my doctor, my gynecologist, he recommend, okay, excuse me guys, if you're not planning on having any more kids, instead of going through removing the fibroids, going to the surgery to remove the fibroids, and then with the possibility of having surgery again, you know, he didn't want to do that, especially for someone who's never had, you know, surgery, you know, he recommend just do it one time. Just do it one time and done, and have a hysterectomy. I'm like, a hysterectomy? You know, guys, I was just so scared. Just the word hysterectomy, you know, when they explained to me what hysterectomy is, scared the crap out of me. I'm like, so they're going to butcher me. It it was a tough time, for me, during that time, which I'm sure is a tough time for any female who has been through, hysterectomy, whether it's partial hysterectomy or full hysterectomy. But my gynecologist, he explained to me that, they'll do a partial, hysterectomy and a hysterectomy is having your uterus removed. So with that said, with having your uterus removed, that means you won't be able to have kids again of your own. You won't be able to get pregnant because you don't have a uterus, right? So my gynecologist explained, that I have to get it done. It's something that has to get done. So it's something that I really, really had to think about. So going back with the fibroids and extreme anemia, and with my hemoglobin being at a 6, when it should be the minimum at 12. So my primary doctor, she explained, you either going to need blood transfusion or you have to get what you call an iron infusion. Now, that was my very first time, guys, hearing about iron infusion. I was like, what is an iron infusion? So she explained to me what an iron infusion is. That's when they go through your vein and they inject you and they pump the iron directly into your vein. That goes straight to your bloodstream. Because it gets to absorb faster that way. They also should also prescribe iron tablet. I was taking the iron tablet. But the iron tablet doesn't work as fast because iron, guys, takes a longer time to absorb, in your body than other like vitamins and stuff like that. Iron itself takes a longer time to absorb. So as low as my iron level was to undergo what you call a iron infusion. So guys, I was so terrified. I was so scared. So I started looking up and researching what is iron infusion. And, there's a lot of different information out there that explains to you what iron infusion is. But also it was telling me that there could be a lot of side effects. Some people go through seizures, going through an iron infusion. So I was terrified, but I know it's something that I had to do because I did not want blood transfusion. So I was like, let me go through this iron infusion. So I had to do iron infusions I had to do iron infusion twice a week for 3 months straight. And also I was to bring my level up before I had the surgery. So I couldn't escape it. It's something that had to get done. So I was doing my iron infusion twice a week for 3 months. And when the very, very, very first day, I remember going to the iron infusion, I was so terrified, so I couldn't go by myself. I didn't want to go by myself. So at the time, my ex-husband, he came with me, he was there with me for support, throughout my, for the first day for my iron infusion. And like I mentioned earlier, they had to inject the iron with like an IV, and they inject the iron directly into your vein, to your bloodstream, and they have to do it very, very slowly. It's not a process that could go fast, because this is something brand new that's being introduced to your body, so they have to do it really, really slow to see how your body responds to it, how your body takes it, so I had to sit there for 2 hours with the needle, the IV needle inside, in my vein, and the iron going through. You're gonna feel different. Your body's gonna feel like cold, because, like I say, it's going directly into your vein, through your bloodstream. So you literally feel it just like going through, your whole body. But guys, after a while, I started to feel better. I started to have a little more energy. I started to feel brighter. I was able to go to the grocery store and walk around without feeling like I'm going to pass out, so the iron infusion, it helped tremendously. And for my personal experience, my experience with the iron infusion, thank God, I didn't have any side effects from it or anything. I didn't have any, like adverse reactions or anything with the iron infusion. So I would just go there, like I mentioned, twice a week and sit there for like 2 hours, for the bag. It's like an entire bag to finish, drain into, my vein, my bloodstream. So I was getting the iron directly that way. So when my body got stronger and everything, and then so it was time for my surgery for the hysterectomy. But guys, before the surgery, because I know a lot of female, might be going through this or have been through this or in a situation or position where your doctor may mention that, okay, you're going to have a hysterectomy done. For me, it was terrifying, and like I said, thank God, at least, I have my 2 beautiful girls, but it was still something that was very concerning of mine, having the hysterectomy, removing your uterus, because then I'm like, okay, that's it for me. I won't be able to have any more children of my own. It was terrifying, guys. I used to come home, from work, and I would just like pray. I would pray. I was like, Lord, please, heal me so I don't have to have the hysterectomy done, because I was so concerned. Because remember, I mentioned, now I'm divorced. My divorce was finalized in 2016, and I'm like, okay, so what if I meet somebody new and they want kids? I won't be able to give them that kids because I won't have a uterus. It was just a lot. It's just a lot for a female going through this, type of surgery, this type of health situation to go through it. It's a lot, and my heart goes out to any female out there who have to undergo hysterectomy or have undergo hysterectomy that don't have, children, of their own, because it is tough. If you already have children or even a child, God bless you, because at least, we already have kids. But, to say having your uterus removed, it's a huge thing. I was like, oh, this is going to take away my womanhood. I won't be able to have kids. But, it doesn't take away your womanhood. It doesn't take away your womanhood. Your uterus, yeah, it's, where you could have kids. But if you don't have the uterus, you go through the hysterectomy, thank God there's different options out there, for females out there who have to go through hysterectomy or have gone through hysterectomy and don't have kids. There's options out there for like adoptions or different stuff, whatever suits, you or best work, for you. But it's not an easy thing, and just know that, excuse me, you're not alone. I'm getting a little choked up because I'm trying to like hold back, this is not an easy topic for me to talk about or discuss. And like I said, a lot of people don't know, that I went through this, or that I even have a hysterectomy, a partial hysterectomy. But, I thought about it, and I think, it's like, it was really tough, and then I had to come to terms with it that, listen, being divorced, whoever I meet, the next person I meet out there, next guy I meet out there for me, he have to be okay with not wanting no more kids, because I won't be able to give him that kid, give him kid, of his own from me, because, yeah. So, but mainly, I wanted to be well. I wanted was to make sure I am healthy and I'm doing fine, so, yeah. I remember, so by now 2018, I had my appointment scheduled for my surgery dates, and I wasn't even supposed to travel, but I did. I was like, I want to go out and enjoy myself, with my whole full body intact before my surgery, so I remember going to the Bahamas, with my girls and stuff. We just went on a vacation, to the Bahamas, before my surgery. And right when we came back, I was to undergo the surgery of the hysterectomy, to not just remove fibroids, but hysterectomy. I went through a partial hysterectomy where I had my uterus removed, and was so much concern, as to how will I be after the hysterectomy, and guys, a lot of female out there, I know you're going to worry about this too, because I was concerned about it, like I said, I'm being very transparent. As a very, I was concerned about how my sex life's going to be, right? Wouldn't you be concerned, right? I'm like, is everything going to be the same? Because I want everything to be the same because I enjoy my sex life and I didn't want anything altering it. So that was a concern of mine as well. But to let you guys know and to rest assured, like I said, if you're planning on having a hysterectomy done, you're going through the process of hysterectomy and that's a concern of yours. From my experience, no problem. It's actually better than it was before. It really is, and after undergoing the hysterectomy, I was like, you know what? That's actually one of the best things I've ever done, decide to do. Because it's not like, say, I was planning on having more kids, and so then with my sex life, it actually spruces it up, because this way you don't have to worry about, getting pregnant. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about pain, discomfort. So for you guys, being very transparent is just, my experience. So I hope the same for you. It's just all pure pleasure, and now when you go on your vacations and stuff like that, you don't have to worry about what am I going to bring for vacation? Do I have to check the calendar to see if my cycle is coming? You don't have to worry about that either. And the hysterectomy, guys, it's 4 very small incisions. There's no cut or anything. So there's no scarring, nothing. It's just 4 small incisions, that the doctor, the surgeon make. They're going through the incision and it heal like you barely see any mark, after you're fully healed. It's very, very small incision because the surgery is done what you call laparoscopically. And when you fully heal, it's like you could barely see anything. It's just like 2 little dots. You could barely see it. With my incision, he had 1 on each side, 1 little dot on the left, 1 incision on the right. They went through my navel button and then right, below my navel button. And now it's like you can't even tell that anything was done, that anything is even there, So it's very, very important also to have like really great doctors, and a great surgeon that perform, your whole surgery. And during the healing process, guys, it's very, very important that you take care of yourself, so you could heal greatly. So you could have a successful, recovery. It's very important that you take care of yourself. When the doctor release you, they tell you cannot lift anything, and then after like a week, you can't lift anything over 5 pounds after like a week or 2. Don't lift anything. They recommend over like 5 pounds, and you could talk to your doctor, your medical professions, in regards, and they'll guide you and let you know. So it's good to just stay strict to those guidelines for your healing. So during your healing process, it's important to have help, around you, your family member, loved one around you that's going to help you, with just general stuff around the house. Praise God, I have my 2 girls, that was there, with me. My mom, she came over and my little sister, you know, they were also there, you know, with me and for me. My mom and my little sister, you know, they stayed with me and my girls at the house for like a week, you know, for like the first week, you know, of my recovery, you know, so they could help with stuff because I couldn't do much, you know, and you want to stick to those strict doctors' guidelines in how to care for yourself to make sure that you heal, you know, speedy recovery and heal successfully. You know, from the hospital, they gave me the hospital underwear, like the big underwear that goes up, you know, on your stomach. You want to always keep that area clean, you know, because you don't want to get any infection in those little incision, you know. So it's very important that you follow doctors' guidelines. I made sure I try to follow it, you know, to the T, so I could have the best result in recovery, this fastest, speediest, you know, result in recovery. And when you fully heal, it's like you could barely see anything. It's just like two little dots. You could barely see your healing process. Your stomach is going to be bloated, you know, after the surgery because they pump it up with a lot of air and stuff like that. So they're able to see, you know, in your stomach properly what they're doing. So after the surgery, your belly is going to be like really bloated. So during the healing process, you know, they recommend it's good that you take some kind of like gas reliever, you know, that will help relieve, you know, the gas and stuff. A lot of extra air, you know, from your belly, the air pockets. Some people explain that they burp a lot. Some people, you know, being very transparent here. Some people fart a lot, you know, just ways to get the air out. But those are very good. So, you know, the doctor explained even different stuff you could do, like you bend over, you know, you bend, position yourself a certain way, you know, to get the air out. That is very important. Okay, this is not about a time, oh, I want to look cute, oh, I don't want to burp, I don't want to fart, excuse me. You know, this is the time you want to do all that, you know, to get all those extra air and air pockets out, you know, so you could heal properly and your belly goes down nice and, you know, nice and flat. And you know, so for myself and my personal experience, as soon as, you know, I heal, you know, I was healed, and the doctor gave me the clearance that it's okay now for me to start working out. You know, I walk, guys. I do a lot of walking. You know, I walk until I start doing like fast-paced walking, until I start jogging, till I start running, you know, and I went into like workout mode, you know, not too crazy, but I start gradually until I build up my momentum and my strength, and I work out, guys, and work my body back down to where, you know, I'm comfortable. Because also during the whole ordeal, guys, during my whole experience with going through with the fibroids and the iron infusion, I went into like full health mode. I started doing all sorts of research about health, you know, till some of my coworkers started calling me Dr. Claudine, because I went into full like health mode. You know, this is very important, guys. You know, change your diet. You know, I completely changed my diet. And especially when I found out, you know, through my research and stuff about fibroids and how it feeds off fat and fatty foods and, what you call it, too much sweets and sugar, you know, I completely changed my diet, you know, and even let's say eating chicken, even if it's chicken breast, I would take the skin off. Anything that's too fatty, you know, fibroids, they will feed off of it. So if you have fibroids, you know, and you don't want it to keep growing and stuff like that, or you don't want to keep feeding it, you know, just like change your diet, watch what you eat, you know, try and eat clean, a little bit more healthy. So I went into like full health mode, you know, full workout mode, and went, you know, I was always into like health and fitness, but through my experience with the iron infusion, the fibroids, and the hysterectomy, you know, it got me more into like health and fitness, you know, so to like really watch what you eat, you know, change your body. And if you could, you see, I have a few workout videos, you know, that I put out there as well, you know, because of this experience I've been through, you know, it just like open up my eyes and be like, listen, some of the stuff that we put in our bodies, you know, it's not really helping our bodies. You know what I mean? It may taste good, but we're not really benefiting, you know, from it. You know, it's actually hurting us instead of helping us. You know, so I went into that full health mode, you know, to just eat healthy, watch what I eat. I cut out a lot of stuff from my diet. If you're watching some of my workout videos, I explain, you know, some of the stuff that I cut out from my diet and some of the food groups that I add, you know, to my diet. You know, you could check those videos as well. But for any female out there that is going through hysterectomy, iron infusion, or have fibroids, just know that you're not alone. You know, unfortunately, a lot of females, you know, go through it. And from my experience, you know, it was tough. It was really tough for me, you know, in the beginning, just going through it, you know. But after it's all said and done, I'm glad I had the hysterectomy done, because, you know, it was affecting me. You know, my cycle, like I said, started getting heavier and stuff like that. And now I don't have to worry, you know, about that anymore. And now with my new partner, you know, you know, thank God, he's not planning on having any more babies, you know. So when I first break the news to him about me having a partial hysterectomy and I won't be able to give him a child, you know, of his own, you know, he was perfectly fine with it. He was like, okay, because he wasn't planning on having any more babies. So in my case, you know, it worked out great, you know. So I really, really hope that this video helped somebody out there and just give you a little tip more insight, you know, based off my experience about hysterectomy, iron infusion, and fibroids. So always take care, guys. Take care of your health. The health is very, 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 very important. And don't forget, guys, if you like this video, don't forget to like, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so you know whenever we post. Thank you guys so much for watching. And guys, if you have any questions in regard to the content of this video, feel free to drop it in the comment section below. And please don't forget to subscribe, hit notification bell, like, comment, and share.